Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the best of everything with myself, Ruben Paul, and across from me is my hungover brother from another mother. You notice Johnny a lot of times on this show is hungover, and
there's been a few.
Yeah, it's been a few shows that you've been hungover, man. Mm-hmm. And but it was good to see you last night.
This is why I don't go to your shows.
See, I'm glad you're saying that publicly now because you act like you're at my shows all the time, and you're not, man.
Well,
you know,
because
what happens, Johnny, at my shows?
Every time I go to your show, dude,
what?
And all I did was go. I just went there to swing by because Ruben's been bugging me, and some of you have heard. He's always like, "Why don't you come by, man?"
He doesn't support me,
man. Why don't you come by, man?
Who you
man,
do?
You never come by.
Who's
man?
that an impression of? That's
you.
Me? Oh,
that's you
gosh.
on stage.
Oh my!
Ruben
God.
gets very Afro-Americano when he's on stage.
Afro-Americano.
Yeah. So
wow.
He goes.
Wow.
So he's always like, "Man, why don't you come on by, man? Man, what you support, man?" So I go by last night,
which was a great night.
Fantastic. I walk in. Chris Tucker's on stage.
Yeah. Who was my surprise?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's a horrible Chris Tucker, by the way.
Something like that.
That's a horrible Chris Tucker.
No, you do it.
Come on, man.
That's what I just did.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Maybe you're hungover. It was a little raspy. You're a little.
It's my voice. Yeah,
you're a little raspy Tucker.
Raspy Tucker.
Yeah.
So I go in there. Tucker's on stage. I say hi to Rube.
Everybody was happy to see you when you walked in.
Yeah, a lot of people there. I see Russell Peters. We talk for a little bit. We catch up on Kiss. I tell him about the new Kiss memorabilia.
Oh yeah, because you wanted to tell him about that. I remember you were telling me about that like a week or so ago.
Yeah. So
did he know about it?
No. Yes, he knew all about those cards.
He knew about them. Okay.
He knew, yeah.
Because I remember you asking me, he was like, do you know if Russell knows about this?
Yeah, dude, and he knew specifically what year they came out and what year. All right.
That doesn't surprise me, though.
I mean, he's like way into Kiss. But anyway, then I'm having some wine, and then...
let me just say, from the time I saw Johnny to about less than 5 minutes later, you had a glass of wine in your hand.
So here's what happens. I walk in... Nothing in my hands. And then 5 minutes later, somebody hands me a glass of wine.
Who handed you a glass of wine?
Listen.
The bartender you ordered it from? Yeah, it's like a wine just magically appeared in his hands. You wouldn't have ordered that, man.
All I remember is I was...
you know it's a good night when somebody uses the phrase, all I remember or the last thing that I remember was...
I went like this. I was talking to somebody, and I was like, no way. And then there was one of the waitresses walked by and put a glass of wine. Here you go, Johnny. It's from so who?
But did you know what? It's weird that you can get hung up. Well, I guess I'm not a wine drinker, so I can't really relate.
Yeah.
But
no, wine's bad for hangovers if you drink too much.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of sugar.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's not the problem, everybody. I can handle my wine. So somebody puts one in my hand, I finish it. Later on, somebody puts another one in my hand, and then somebody puts another one in my hand. I love how
you keep saying somebody.
Then the show's over. Go upstairs to just kind of hang with Russell Peters and Ruben. But these guys drink something that I don't normally drink. Ruben, what is it? What do you guys like to drink?
Tequila, a little tequila.
Yeah. And not little tequila, really, really good.
Good tequila, yeah.
And it's which one? What is it? It's like Pancho Villas 1552?
I think last night we drank, what did we drink?
The one that comes in the porcelain.
Dos, what is that? I love that tequila.
Dos Equis?
No. I'll tell you right now. It's one of my favorites. It's, I'll tell you what it is. It is called Dos Artes.
Dos
Artes. And it comes
let me see how it's spelled.
Little,
I'll tell you how to pronounce it. Okay, you're pretty close. Dos Artes. For those of you who don't understand Ruben, Dos Artes Reserva Especial. Anyway.
Okay. Johnny, for Johnny to be correcting anybody's Spanish is just hilarious to me. This guy doesn't speak a word of Spanish, but tries to fake the accent. And you need to be careful of that because when you do that, they start talking to you in Spanish, and then you go, "Hey, wait a minute, dude!" You turn white as hell. He'd be like, "Yes, dos artes." Oh, sí que no. Oh, hey.
Hold on, dude.
Then you turn into a surfer.
So anyway,
you started drinking a little dose.
So Ruben hands me again.
Oh my! I didn't hand you.
Yeah, you poured it and handed it to me. You're like, "Here, motherfucker." And I was like, "I don't really do this." And you're like, "But it's real sweet. It's sweet tequila." Okay. So I started having some of that. Oh, so I mixed wine.
I didn't realize you had tequila last night.
You poured it for me upstairs.
Okay, I might have. I didn't force it down your throat. It's not like you said, no, Ruben, I can't. I'm drinking wine. You're like, hell yeah. Top it off.
I was like, let me try this. And then the next thing I know.
You had it before. What are you talking about? Let me try it.
And then the next thing I know, another glass of tequila's in my hand after that one.
Oh, I didn't realize you had that much.
So anyway, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to let Rube do the majority of the talking today.
It was a good night.
I want everybody to understand, it was a good night, but this is one of the reasons why I don't go by Ruben's, because I end up hanging out too much. There's a lot of comics. They're like, there's all kinds of comics, and they're friends that we've known for years. And it just seems like
it was just a really good vibe last night.
Yeah, it was a great vibe. It was a fantastic vibe.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I mean, it was. I just Johnny knows doing Ruby Tuesdays, a weekly show. It's not easy to do a weekly show. It's a lot of work. But nights like last night make it worth it.
What do you mean watching myself? What Mia Mars is like? Are you watching yourself?
What are they talking about?
I don't know. Mia's asking me if I'm watching myself.
But last night, it was a great lineup.
Yeah.
We had Russell Peters on the lineup. Chris Tucker was my surprise guest that came through, and everyone was shocked when he walked out, when he walked up. Donnell Rollins was hilarious as always last night.
Funny.
Adam Ray was great. Taylor Tomlinson. Everybody was great on the show. Taylor Tomlinson killed it. Crystal Marie, who was really funny.
I haven't seen her.
First time I had seen her.
Okay.
And also Ron Jossel, Filipino comedian out of Canada, who's good friends with Russell.
I've heard his name.
Ron is really funny.
Okay.
So it was just a great night last night, and everybody killed it, and I'm always grateful to some of my friends who show up and do the show. Like, Russell doesn't have to do clubs, so the fact that he comes and does Ruby Tuesdays for me a lot is greatly appreciated. And even Chris Tucker, he called me yesterday afternoon. It's funny because he called me from a blocked number. So I'm looking at, it says, like no caller ID when it's coming up on my phone. I'm like, like I don't owe anybody anything, but still I don't like answering numbers. So I was like, I'm gonna let it go to voicemail. And then, of course, I read.
I know you can do him, so do his voice.
Of course, I read his text messages in his voice, and it's like, "Hey, Rube, it's Chris Tucker. Call me back, man." So I call him back. He doesn't answer, and then he calls me right back, and I was like, "Yo, I want to come. I'm in town. I want to come through to the show tomorrow night. Give me the details." And it was great, man. It was a blessing to have a friend like that. To come up and just show up.
Did you I remember Chris. I got to know him at the Comedy Store when he was coming up before he did Friday and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was he doing rooms with you?
Yes.
He was.
Well,
okay.
I told the story when I introduced him last night. First time, like Chris Tucker's from Atlanta, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from Atlanta. So when I first started doing comedy, the owner of the Comedy Act Theater also owned a club in Atlanta. There was a Comedy Act Theater in Atlanta and in Los Angeles. And then he ended up opening up one in Chicago. And these are all, Black-owned. It was comedy businesses.
Yeah.
Which was dope and which was historic.
FUBU? It was FUBU before FUBU?
Oh. Anyways, a Black-owned comedy club. First, I think, Black-owned comedy club in America was Michael Williams in the Comedy Act Theater where the great Robin Harris performed. But anyway, I'm digressing. So I'd heard of Chris
Remind
Tucker.
me about that a little later. I need to talk to you about that, about saying that on stage. Right. I got a big issue with that.
All right. Anyway, He always has an issue.
Thank
with
you
everything.
for bringing that up because I've been meaning to talk to you about that. But
Anyway.
continue.
Can I finish?
Yes, please. My brain's not quite.
I digress.
Ugh.
Anyway, I'd heard of Chris Tucker before he had come to LA. I'd heard the name. So I'm hosting an open mic, and literally I get off stage, and I'm just walking to the back. Chris comes straight to me. He goes, "You're pretty funny, man. Can I have a ride? My name's Chris Tucker." I said, like, what?
Can I have a
He was like, "You pretty funny. Can I have a ride?" I go, "Where?" He's like, "I just moved out here from Atlanta, man. I don't have no car." And I was like, he was like, "You got a car?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Can I have a ride?" I go,
He doesn't even know you had
he
a car.
didn't even know. I go, "Yeah, man, you can have a ride." So he gets in the car, and I go, "Where do you live?" He goes, "San Pedro." I go, "San Pedro? We're in South Central LA. San Pedro is far as hell."
That's far away.
But I don't know, man. It was just something about like how we connected that I was like, and
I didn't
I'm
know
a
that.
young
You
comic.
never told me that.
I'm just starting out, and
Yeah.
I had, and at this point, I had never even did he perform that night? No, I did see him perform that night. So I was just like, wow, this dude is something like you could tell he was special. So it was just, you're a young comic. I was just happy to be around him, type thing. So he asked me for a ride, and I was like, all right, I gave him a ride, and we talked on the whole drive because it's like 40 minutes to get to San Pedro.
And remember, 40 minutes. Well, 20 miles, but 40 minutes to an hour in LA.
Yeah.
But still, that's a ways out when you're, because you're you're open micing at this point, right? Yeah, man. Like we didn't have money for gas and shit like that. You know what I mean?
It's like being in Long Beach and go, "Hey man, can I have a ride?" And go, "Oh, okay, of course. Where do you live?" Northridge. Northridge.
You got a car, man. Is that better? Was that better?
That was pretty good.
You got a car, man.
Yeah. So I gave him a ride, and then this was funny. We exchanged numbers, and then Chris would call me to pick him up, and I just always.
Oh, you just did it?
I just did it. You know what I mean? And we just became friends. And he told the story last night on stage. He was like, Ruben never complained. He never said no. I never even asked him for gas.
Wow.
Never even asked him. I'm sure he probably gave me gas money. I can't remember him giving me gas money. But yeah, we just became friends from that moment forward. So yeah, so he called me up and he said, "Can I come do the show?" I'm like, "Of course," and it was great. And he hung out most of the night, which is cool.
Funny. I remember the first thing I said was like, "How come everybody gets buffed out later on?"
Yeah,
he's all buffed out, man.
Yeah, I think it's a part of aging
because it's like, I mean, I know the metabolism slows down, but like with Chappelle, we all remember Chappelle and Tucker, super skinny,
and wiry. Mm-hmm.
And then you just cut to, and I mean, we all put on, but they got buffed out, man. He's all buffed out.
Yeah.
Chris, it's just trippy.
Well, I think
he
did go through a little phase where he actually put on some weight.
Right. And then he got into shape.
Then I think he got into shape and was lifting weights. But it was good to see him and hang out.
Oh, we call it pumping iron. Yeah. Those of us who really,
those of us? Anyway, it was good to hang out because it was almost like old times. Because one thing about comedy is the longer you do it, the less we get to hang out with each other. When you start headlining and then somebody like Chris who goes on to stardom and everything, your paths don't cross very much at all.
No.
So to have a night like Ruby Tuesdays on the Tuesday night.
Here comes the plug. To
have all these people come together that you normally don't get a chance to hang around with is dope.
That's what I'm saying. That this is for those of you who are if you're just hopping on or whatever. I swung by and now I'm extremely hungover, but that's the vibe. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. One of my favorite, probably my favorite episode ever of the Arsenio Hall show, the original one, was when he had Eddie Murphy on, and they were just talking and reminiscing about taking the bus to the Comedy Store to do open mic nights. And when they were talking, because they had gotten so busy with their lives, they weren't running into each other anymore. But, it's like, that's why I always tell whenever I work with comics who are starting out, and they'll always be like, "Hey, of course, we always give them the main thing, stage time. It's like that's all you got to worry about is stage time." But I do tell them, try to enjoy these times, even with all these annoying other open micers and comics, because they're going to look back 10, 15, 20 years later and kind of go, "Oh man, that was actually the fun time."
Yeah.
You don't realize it when you're doing it, because everybody wants to be here. They want to be here.
Yeah.
When they're here, and then it's like anything. We always want to be older. We want to drive when we're 12 and 13 and whatever. But I think that's what's cool about nights like that, when got to see Jay Phillips. I don't see Jay Phillips very often, and
Absolutely.
you know what I mean. Guys like
Real Battle. I mean, Tony Rock hangs out a lot.
Yeah.
Because even when you are still hitting the clubs, you usually leave on Wednesday for whatever city you're going to go to perform. So if you're not out on Monday or Tuesday, you just don't see each other. Like think about it. When's the last time we've seen Sebastian or hung out with Sebastian? I know he's at the store a lot, but these are people we used to always run into. Running into Neil Brennan, our paths cross quite often, but we caught up a little bit on Saturday.
Actually, I didn't see him Saturday.
You know what I mean? It's because everybody's busy, everybody's working, and you don't get to see the people that you've come up through the trenches with all the time. Yeah. So, a night like last night, and to be honest, a lot of people come out and hang out on Tuesdays. I think that's why it's great to have a show on a Tuesday night when people are home.
Yeah, typically
in town,
everybody's in town. That was one of the things you always wanted to do when you started your room. Remember, you were like, I want to do it either on a Monday or Tuesday. And then you were like, but sometimes comics come back into town on a Monday and they feel like going out that night because they traveled.
Yeah.
And a lot of them leave on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So you were like, maybe
a Tuesday will work.
And then, of course, I was like, why don't you call it Ruby Tuesdays? No, I wanted him to do TGI Funny.
Oh, my God.
What was the other one?
I don't know.
Laughable's.
Oh, yeah.
Laughable's.
Yeah.
And
all the ones that we don't want.
And he ended up with Ruby Tuesday. Speaking of, we don't see Butch Brat. Butch hopped on a second ago.
Yeah, what's up, Butch? How are you,
we
man?
never see that dude. He's right there in Las Vegas.
Jr.?
No, that's Jack Sr.
Oh, is that Jack Sr.? Oh, wow.
Let me see. Yeah, that's Jack Sr. That's the important one.
Hey, man, leave Jack Jr. alone. But
hey, what, man?
What's up,
I
Jack?
love you guys. Hey, listen, I go to Glendale soon, okay,
Art
guys?
Roseman.
I go say hi to Armenians in Glendale, okay?
Are you doing Jamie Masada or are you doing Jack? You can tell when Johnny's hungover because his accents start crossing up. He's great at them, too, but when he's hungover, it's like, are you doing Jamie? What's up, Phil Patel?
Where did you get seeing that?
Anyway. People are chiming in.
So, anyways, a great night. I'm hurting. I'm paying for it today, but so I know we wanted to talk a little bit about the Oscars and how did you first thing, how do you like the no host? This is the second year. I'm curious because as comics, we typically, I think we've always kind of preferred stand-ups to host.
Yeah.
But although I think Billy Crystal was still the best.
Yeah.
I know back in the day, it was Bob Hope, but I think Billy Crystal has always been one of the best. But how do you like the no host?
I have mixed feelings about the Oscars.
Yeah.
I do prefer it with the host.
Okay.
But as the years go by, I'm less excited about them because of their lack of inclusion.
Yeah, of course. Right. Right.
So even when I watched the Oscars, I watched them, but I just fast forward through everything. You know what I mean? I record it. I don't sit and watch it live as it's happening. Yeah. I kind of watch it and fast forward to it and go to the parts.
Oh, I see.
That I want to see. But I will say this: I was very happy with Parasite winning all those awards. I was hoping it would win those awards. I felt like they deserved every award that they won. But I think it was important for people of color to see a movie like this being honored in that type of way.
Yeah,
You
I mean
know?
that was. Now it's funny that, as you said before we went it live, you were like, it forces people to read. Now, you know, I don't like. Now it takes me a while to do
I know, you're
movies.
one of them too.
I got to pause. I got to go back sometimes because they would go fast. But I saw some dude commented on somebody that was like, somebody was like, "Congrats to Parasite, man. The movie was different. It was unique. It was, you know." And then it's like, "Oh, if I wanted to, I'd have just broken open a book. I don't feel like reading." And then some other dude was like, "Hey, this is America."
Oh man!
And some foreign film and these guys aren't even speaking English. Dude, when I hear something like that, I go, "Wow, these are people who literally think cinema started in America, like that there was no films in any other countries before."
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I think more people. We should probably be watching. This is probably the guy. That's probably the same dude who's excited about Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And Transformers movie coming out next. Like,
I think when you think of film. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
I just
my head's hurting from that.
I think when you think of like you said, films have been made all over the world for years, but I think the U.S. market has become, you know, the standard.
Oh, the elite. Yeah. Of course.
For whatever reason. So I think everybody aspires to be on the level and be honored in the United States. It's a lot like that in music also.
Of course.
Where there's people making millions of dollars abroad.
In the UK and
all over
Asia, wherever. Yeah.
But they want to come here and have American success.
Yeah.
So for a movie like Parasite, you know, which a lot of people don't want to read when they go to a movie. Could you imagine being on a date with somebody and you had no idea they couldn't read, and then you go see Parasite and then they just start looking at you and like, what's wrong? Like, I don't want to watch this movie. Like, oh, didn't you? What did you think about this? Right? I can't read. Like, oh shit. It's like, wow, that's a hell of a time to learn on your first date. So you should probably take every chick that you meet, you know, to a movie with subtitles to see if they can read. Like, let's start there. But anyway, I really liked the movie. The thing that I liked about Parasite most, and this is spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie.
Oh yeah,
some of you guys
hit the mute or whatever.
Well, I won't go into details.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really enjoyed about this movie that we miss in a lot of movies is the fact that the movie wasn't predictable.
Right.
Like a lot of times you can watch a movie and you can figure out the plot and what's going to happen within the first 10 minutes of a movie.
I told you that about Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
I knew immediately what was going to happen with the two,
Absolutely.
Right? So, which was still, it was a good movie.
But it's still a good movie.
Still a great movie.
But Parasite. Like when you watch it, like when you watch Parasite, you go, "Oh, I didn't see that coming."
I didn't know where everything was going.
And there's something to be said about that.
That means and that's why people, and I think people now are I think before Best Picture used to be the big sweeping.
Yeah.
So I think obviously everybody was assuming it was going to be 1917 or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? Yeah. But
a lot of people love JoJo too.
Yeah, I mean, remember that was I thought that was going to be I predicted that one to win. I thought that was going to be the surprise win. But look at last year with Green Book. I can't remember which one was favorite last year, but Green Book got it. The year before when Moonlight won over La La Land, right?
Yeah,
remember that mistake?
They
whatever.
Yeah.
But I think what they're doing now at the Academy, it's not the big picture. You know what I mean? Like Best Picture, it's not the grandiose thing anymore. It's sort of they're choosing these films that are. I mean, Moonlight was a huge surprise. You know, even with the snafu and everything. But still, Parasite, I did not know.
And one thing,
and I didn't read about it either because I didn't want to know what it was
about.
Yeah. I made sure not to read about it. I didn't want to know.
But the dope thing about Parasite also was
Lionel B.
What up, Lionel?
Man,
Lionel B.
Man, what's up?
The dope thing about Parasite was it won Best Picture. best foreign, but to be honored in that way where it's like not just best foreign film, best film. And that was a statement, but hopefully the Oscars will start doing better.
Okay, let me
but
ask.
They do need, though, in their boards, whoever make these decisions, they just need more diversity in that room.
Yeah, I know.
Because you could just tell, man, there's not enough black people or Latinos or others in that room to give opinions on taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really thinking of Lionel B is I'm doing this Friday on Valentine's Day. I'm doing a show for him in Oakland at the Paramount Theater. I'm opening up for Kim, R&B soul singer. Yeah.
When is this?
This is this Friday on Valentine's Day. So I will be in Oakland, and I believe the show is already sold out.
Oh, wow.
And here's the thing, like about artists is, here's an artist that not everybody knows. You're probably not familiar with Kim.
No, say his name again.
Kim, K-E-M.
Oh, K-E-M.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. So
actually, when you said Kim, I was going to ask, was he a cast member in Parasite? Thank you.
Anyway.
Really? I'm Hey, I'm hungover, so give me a break.
Yeah, but you're like this even when you're not hungover. But so it was great.
Okay, Kim.
And then all the actors who won, I wasn't surprised by not one.
Yeah, I have to say this though, man. Poor Leon. I mean, I haven't seen all the lead. I haven't seen Marriage Story, so I can't say.
Marriage Story was Adam Driver, man.
Yeah, I mean, even just in some of those
all those performances were really
dude,
good.
Leonardo. I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yesterday. No, Monday. And damn, Leonardo's so good, man.
He's good, but it was no comparison with. I mean, Joaquin.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like, I feel bad for those guys that Joaquin had that performance.
Yeah,
because it's like it's almost like you just can't. He pissed off everybody in the Central Valley, right? You know that thing he did about artificial insemination with the cows. And
yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, I grew up in
a cow town.
Basically, the number one milk and dairy distribution in the United States is from where I'm from.
Oh, wow.
So when people get their milk and their cheese and their ice cream, and it's all from the Central Valley. So
not all from the Central Valley, but go ahead.
It's the number they 6 billion gallons of milk come out of Tulare County.
Well, good for you, Joaquin. I'm glad you spoke out against them. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'd like for him to maybe he should come down and visit my hometown and meet all these dairymen.
Why? I don't think he needs to go there.
You don't think he should meet the Portuguese dairymen?
I mean, with the atrocities that you're committing in that town. I mean, why would he want to?
Oh, really?
I mean, that's what he said, right?
I guess that's what he said. It was hard to. It was hard to keep up with what he was saying.
I know, but his Baptist speech was dead on, I thought.
Oh yeah, that one.
That was a great speech.
Here's what's funny: Joaquin pissed off the San Joaquin.
Yeah, he's probably more Mexican than you, huh?
He is not. Their original last name was Button or Bottom, and then his dad changed the name to Phoenix.
Is he Latino?
No, his dad's like the Irish German, and then his mom is Jewish descent of like Austrian, Russian, something like that. Yeah, no, he doesn't. But I think it's because of his name that people assume Joaquin. Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't even catch it. I said that Joaquin pissed off the San Joaquin. You didn't even catch it?
I caught that.
Anybody out there catch it?
Lionel B said, I ruined Green Book for him.
Why? Because of that thing we did?
No, because there was remember that one scene when they got out of jail? I just told Lionel about that one scene, and he said I ruined the whole movie because I told him about that one scene. Like, really?
I mean, I can see his point. Maybe you shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah. See, Lionel didn't see the Oscars. I just think a lot of time, I think now as time goes on, there's just a lot of people with color that are like, you know what, we're not going to beg for inclusion. If they don't want to respect the films that are made, or if they're not even going to acknowledge us, then why are we supporting it? Why are we watching it? And that seems to be the sentiment of a lot of people of color that I've spoken to. Like, man, F the Oscars, man. They don't support us. And a lot of people are starting to feel like that about the Grammys, too, and how they do some of the categories and stuff.
Yeah, and then, that one lady that was working for the Grammys was like, here's somebody that was at number 20, and then they bumped that artist up to be in the nominations because of who's repping them.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, she had an issue and got fired, or she quit, whatever, and then she told everybody it's rigged. The Grammys are rigged. So that's why you see some certain artists. Sometimes people go, man, so-and-so got nominated. I don't even know this person. She's like, it's all about who's repping them and their connection with the Grammy people. So she was like, somebody that was down at number 20 got bumped up to the nomination and cut in front of all these other artists because somebody said, yeah, but we're grooming this artist.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how sometimes as artists, we put so much stock into things we have no control over.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like you're beating yourself up and you're probably feeling bad about yourself and you don't even know it's rigged. Or are you going for
auditions, dude? Remember we used to beat ourselves up over all that?
You don't know. It's like, oh, they gave the part to the person's brother or the producers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Or you know what I mean?
How about when you find out later on that they already knew who they wanted for a role, right? And they have to, through union rules, they have to bring people in and audition us. And here's everybody coming in, man. We're all putting our work in and excited, like maybe this is. And they already had the person over here, but they have to bring everybody through that door, man, and the process.
Yeah.
So.
But
go Raiders, eh?
Art Roseman just asked, when are you coming back to Minneapolis? You know what, Art? I was supposed to actually I got offered to be in Minneapolis this week at the House of Comedy, but I'm going to be in Oakland at the Paramount Theater performing in front of a sold out audience for Kim on Valentine's Day.
You could have just said I have a gig.
I know, but yeah. But
okay.
I'm like, how's those Latino tours coming for you, man?
Hey, you know what, bro?
What?
Hey, look, man. Hey, my calendar is wide open, homie. So if there's any Latino promoters in the vicinity of America, I do want, dude. I will say this though. I don't know what I'm going to do about the Raiders, dude, because I'm seeing the signs. First of all, Las Vegas Raiders. It just, it doesn't.
Silver and black, baby.
I know, man.
Silver and black.
I think I'm going to call them. I'm debating on two different names for them. Either the Sin City Raiders.
That's going to be your own personal name for them?
I'm going to start the hashtag and it's going to take off. So Sin City Raiders, because that fits their personality, doesn't it? Sin City more than Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Or, guys ready for this one? And remember, you guys heard it here, all right? When you start hashtagging this, don't forget to give me the creds. Anyway, how about this one? Guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Viva Las Raiders.
Oh, my gosh. Seriously?
Viva Las Raiders.
No.
I don't know, man.
No.
That sounds pretty good.
I mean, I'm sure somebody will say that at some point, but
I just said it first.
I'm sure somebody might have said that already.
I don't think they have.
All
right.
Probably.
That's another thing about you. Oh, let's get back on digress and that.
Probably.
And why do you have to squint your eyes when you're saying it right now?
I'm thinking.
Why don't you digress?
I know. You know what?
You should try that for a second.
I digress. Let's get back to that.
Let me tell you about that digressing. It drives me crazy. Ruben's on stage. He'll be doing like telling a story about his family, his dad, or he'll be doing a Mexican guy. Hey, my name's Cesar. My name is Cesar. And then all of a sudden he's all, anyway, I digress. And he throws it in. And it
Wait a minute.
Irritates me.
Are you doing Why are you doing Paul Rodriguez out of nowhere?
That's your Mexican guy that works at Little Caesars.
I do Paul Rodriguez. Hey, you know, cabron.
Are you Little Caesar? No, my name's Cesar. But I just work
That's
here.
not Paul, though. You know, I haven't done that in a while. I need to bring that back, man.
You can't because we got to work on the delivery thing.
Yeah.
You can still keep
we
it.
did talk about that. Yeah, we'll figure that out. That's right.
You literally can keep it.
Well, yeah, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
off air.
yeah.
you'll
But
help me
anyway,
with that.
let's get back on digross, okay? Because it grosses me out when you'll be talking, and I know why you're doing it. I know why you're doing it. You're doing it to sound real, like edgy. Like he's in the middle, he's doing all this ethnic stuff, and then all of a sudden he's just all, but and then his voice even changes when he's all, but I digress. Drives me crazy.
Well, let's talk about some things that drive me crazy when you're on stage.
Which would be?
You're 2% Congolese, and then you start humping and putting one leg in the air, and you start humping it. Yeah, motherfucker. I'm like, oh, okay. Jesus. Really? Is that what you've melted our culture down to? It's humping the air. That's right, motherfucker. 2% Congolese in this mother. What the hell?
See,
Chris,
he likes it.
It's so ridiculous. That's right.
Right,
Ruben Paul hates this right here.
2% Congo.
Okay. All right.
All right. Tell you what. I'll pull that back if you start pulling back that grossing me out.
Absolutely. I'll do it. We got a deal? See, he didn't think I'd agree to it. I'm done. It's done forever, man. I'll never do it again.
No, you just keep doing it. It's all right.
We had fun, though, Saturday night. We got a chance, which rarely happens.
Oh, I know, man.
We did 2 shows in a row together. We were in Long Beach, and then we were in Hollywood. That was really fun, man.
Yeah, we flip-flopped. So you were on after –
I was on after you in Long Beach, and then you're on after me in Hollywood.
In Hollywood.
And great shows, great crowds.
Yeah,
both nights, man.
And,
both shows.
Yeah, and isn't it funny? I'm the only one that remembers to plug our podcast.
Well, we talked about that. You know,
it should be the 1 second. The one that goes
but you know what's interesting about that? And thank you guys for telling people about the podcast and sharing. But we do need to do a better job of letting people know.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's just something we both need to be conscious of, even before, like on the drive there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we got to remember to plug the podcast. We got to remember to plug it before we go on. Because sometimes, you know, we get off stage, we're in the car, I'm like, damn. You know?
I know.
And we have a lot of eyes on us during the course of a week with all the shows that we do. So we're doing ourselves a disservice by not plugging it. Like I didn't, like last night, didn't plug it. Not
oh my
night.
God, no way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do a lot of shows. And you know, this Friday on Valentine's Day, I'm going to be performing in front of 3,000 people at the Paramount Theater.
Oh, now you're throwing a number out there. He didn't say that. He didn't say the number.
Oh, I didn't?
No, you were just saying. You just said it was sold out at the Paramount. But you didn't say how many people.
All right. You know, I don't want to throw numbers around, but
so Ruben will be.
I'll plug it. So send me a text, or I'm going to write it down when we get off air to plug the podcast. Like, we got to make it. Seriously, I need help because it just.
I know. Because we aren't used to having to say anything when we're done.
Yeah.
The credits, the right. MC, the host will give us. They'll be like, "Hey, you've seen this person on this."
Mm-hmm. And you made a great point. You was like, it's important for us to plug it and not just for the host.
It's not the same when the host does it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's better when we do it and we're finished. But man, it's so hard because I think we're just so conditioned to be like, "Hey, I'm done. Good night," and we walk off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't do all that. You know.
Oh,
thank you guys. You guys are. Oh man.
There's actually comics out there, guys, who
you think digress drives him crazy.
That actually,
but I digress.
That wait to see, they'll wait as the audience is clapping, hoping that they might just start standing up.
Yeah.
Remember that? We've seen that many times.
Well, we've seen people actually orchestrate the audience to stand out. Like they do it. It's like a subliminal thing almost, you know? Yeah. And it worked. I've seen it work.
Now, it's okay when Kevin Nealon used to do it because he was doing Mr. Subliminal.
Kevin Nealon used to do it?
Yeah, Kevin used to do it at the Comedy Store all the time.
I did not
He
know
would be
that.
he would literally do Mr. Subliminal from Saturday Night Live, his character. So he'd be on stage and he'd just be doing his stand-up. He'd be like, but that's just how it goes, standing ovation. And he would talk and my wife comes walking in and then he delivers punchline and then he'd be like, and I tell her, hey, you better get out of here, standing ovation. So, and then by the time he was done, everybody stood up.
You know what's interesting?
But that's different. It's Nealon doing Mr. Subliminal.
One of my a comic that I used to really enjoy watching, and still when I see her perform. Remember Wendy Lieberman?
One of the best.
Yeah, and she used to do the
Of all
subliminal
time.
thing.
Oh, I didn't know she did it as well.
Yeah, like she would.
Oh, you mean just naturally in her stand-up?
in her stand up?
Oh, she always had that
Oh, it was great.
interesting delivery.
Like I'm not even gonna try to imitate it to do it justice, but she'd say the punchline and then she'd throw a word in. She was like, "Yeah, I was just talking to my father, who was never there," and then you know what I mean. Like she'll have that little. It was just she used to just really, really make me laugh. And I remember doing a show with her years later, and I just told her, how great I thought she was, and she was just so gracious and everything. And she used to run this show in the Valley at Vitello's. I'm not sure if she's still doing it, but it was called, I think it was called Homegrown. So she used to try to book a lot of comics that were from Southern California, which there are not that many of us.
Well,
but the ones who are.
Gee, I wonder who that would include. Would it include a comic who goes on stage every time? What's up, everyone? I'm from L.A., born and raised in L.A.
That's right. That's right, brother.
Okay.
Proud of where I came
Well, I'm
from, man.
born and raised in California.
You're born and raised in a town that artificially inseminates cows. Thank you, Joaquin, for shedding light on what they're doing down there.
God.
It makes sense, man.
The poor dairymen and farmers, man, they don't get enough water.
Could you imagine they were watching the Oscars milk and go, what?
What? Like they're doing it like that anymore.
How do they do
They
it
do
now?
it with machines.
Oh,
They
that's
just hook
so
them
cruel,
up. They go
man.
like,
That's so cruel, man. That's so cruel.
oh, while you're drinking your latte.
No. Almond milk.
There you go.
Almond milk.
Right.
Almonds aren't being harmed in the making of almond milk.
You know where? No, almond milk. This is what's funny. Now I'm going to blow your mind right now.
Okay.
Almond milk comes from cows that are fed almonds.
Oh my God.
Epa.
You're ridiculous. That is not true. But somebody out there believe that. There's some vegan out there that spit their almond milk out. What? It comes from cows that eat almonds? Oh, man.
All right.
Oh, Benny Oshana. What up, Benny?
Oh, dang. We're already at 45 minutes? All
Yeah.
right. Oh, there's his Oscar. Yeah. We're not going to watch the whole thing, right?
No.
All right.
When you talk about something, I try and put it down.
Wait, so Vinny jumped
Well, we
on?
talked about that like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Chris,
Chris.
and now you're putting it up?
Way to keep up.
Chris, are
with-
you hungover too? Like, what's going on with you guys today? Man?
No, I'm not. I'm not hungover.
All I
Okay.
got to say is do not mix wine and tequila.
We won't. That's
Wait, where's Vinny shouting?
Vinny, he came in.
Oh, and then he jumped off? That means he jumped on accident.
Oh. could be.
All right.
all right.
Oh, there he is. Wait a minute. What did he say?
No, that's not. What did he say?
He said, Johnny is so much louder than you, Rube. I have to lower the volume when.
Let me tell you about Vinny, man. I love Vinny, man. Vinny's
I like him. I don't love him, but I like him.
he's been cool since day one.
I know.
Funny
no,
dude.
I'm kidding.
Always love having him on the show, and I'm gonna have him on the show soon because Vinny shows up for me, Johnny. He shows up and he does Ruby Tuesdays, unlike you.
And you can just turn the mic off when he gets on stage, right?
Why?
Because I don't call him Vinny shouting for nothing.
Oh.
He doesn't need a mic.
Oh, that's why he's busting your
Remember-
ball saying you're the one
Yeah, he
who's
thinks
loud.
I'm louder than him, when Paul, Aaliyah, and I both agreed, we're both loud, Paul, Aaliyah, and myself, but Vinny has us beat. We both agreed on this. Vinny is louder on stage. Think about him on stage.
I'll watch the next time, but I don't see him. He's not on my list of loud comics when I think of loud Really? You act like you're shocked. Vinny, what do you have to say about this, Vinny? Johnny is beside himself right now. That I don't know. I guess I've never looked
anytime I would go on stage after Vinny,
your ears would be ringing.
I would and I'd go up and I'd go, "Hey, everybody," and I hit the mic and go, "Were you guys able to? Is this on? Were you guys able to hear him?" Because I'm looking at people's ears. There's blood coming out of people's ears.
You're such an asshole, man.
No, but I do.
He already said his ears are bleeding from listening to you.
Oh man, you know what? Anyway, hey, by the way, he's a veteran, so
yeah,
Air Force.
man.
You know he's an Air Force veteran.
Absolutely, man. Vinny's a good dude, man. Known him for a long time.
Air Force. Last one's there. First one's to leave. Anyway, I'm
really
kidding.
Did you just shit on the Air Force?
I do.
Wow.
I do it to Vinny. Vincent. Anyway,
he just said Johnny's such a hater.
Oh man, come on, man. You know I'm kidding, bro. But I love my Assyrians, and I'm being serious.
Okay.
He's Assyrian.
I know.
Not Syrian, Assyrian.
All right.
Did you know that? It's a separate.
Okay. I'm familiar, man.
Okay.
I'm familiar. I know Vinny. I've known him for a long time. Anyway, we're gonna have a guest on next week.
Oh yeah.
Which will be fun. And
we
have a lot of guests coming up.
Are you gonna name him?
No. Just in case he cancels.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to put it out. I don't want to put him on the spot, but we're
okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say Eddie Spaghetti meatballs are ready.
Yeah, but let's not say that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just got to make sure he's here. And they announced the Kobe Bryant Memorial. That's going to be February 24th, 10 a.m. at the Staples Center.
Right.
Yeah. But I was told they already did a private ceremony already.
Oh, no, the burial was Friday.
It was Friday.
For
family.
Vanessa. And yeah, man, she's, you've seen the things that she's been posing. It's just heart-wrenching, man.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what she's going through. Like she said, she's trying to cope with Kobe not there, but then not seeing her daughter again. It's just,
and then you have to be a mom to the 3 daughters that are there.
Correct.
Yeah, it's any loss is terrible, but sudden tragic loss is it's like your world gets turned upside down immediately.
Yeah.
Just literally in the blink of an eye. You go from laughing, joking, whatever you're doing in that moment. She had just seen her husband and child, less than an hour prior, maybe,
probably around that time,
and then to get that phone call. So our hearts and thoughts and prayers are still with Vanessa and the family and everybody who was
even all the. And then how about the the 2 kids that were, the family, the coach and his wife, and there was 2 other children.
Yeah.
The oldest son is 20-something, and then the daughter is 16. The other one, they got to cope with all that, which is just, do you think that they chose February 24th because of 2 and 24?
Yes.
Her number and his number,
right?
I
think they might have said that in the statement, but I remember reading that somewhere.
All
so
right.
For you guys who didn't know, it's February 24th, Staples Center, 10 a.m., I believe, to honor
and
all
they're not
that was
gonna
lost in the tragedy.
It's something you have to purchase, right? You have to.
I'm not sure about that yet.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
I
saw something on the news this morning, and I thought they said
So Google it, do some research on it. The only thing that I do know for certain is it's the 24th, Staples Center, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, Johnny's hungover, so we're not gonna
go too long today. So appreciate you guys, especially Vincent, man. Vinny will shine. I'm kidding, right?
He knows you're kidding.
Hello,
but I like
Vinny.
That
Where'd you go?
I like that he called you an asshole, and he said, "I gotta go. I hope he gets diarrhea all day. So,
First of all, I don't think I've ever heard anybody wish diarrhea on somebody else.
Yeah. So that's what he
that's
said.
hilarious. Well, you know what? Try to put he and I on the show together.
Vinny will show up and commit. You're gonna ask me 1,000 questions. Who's on the show? Where am I in the lineup? You know, you Johnny.
Why did I turn into Darren Carter all of a sudden?
I don't know.
I don't know. Hey,
Anybody have any coffee?
Yeah,
It's time for coffee. I'm really excited to do the show with you and
Darren.
Yeah, I love
Darren Carter is literally addicted to coffee. He needs an intervention. This dude
with coffee.
with coffee, dude. He drinks it all day.
I didn't realize that.
You know, some people drink coffee all day.
Did not realize that.
That's crazy to me, man.
And I'm sure he appreciates you putting his business out in the streets like that.
Hey, I got him a
Now
gig.
people are going to be going up to him like, "Hey, Darren, I didn't know you had a coffee drinking problem." Like,
Be like,
how'd you
"What?"
know that?
And then he's gonna go like this. What? What are you talking about? And they're like, I can smell it on your breath right now, Darren. Got coffee breath all the time.
You're such a dick, man. Anyway, guys, anything you want to plug? Well, the show that we're doing in Tulare, April 4th. Is that already sold out or?
Oh, I got to find out about tickets. Yeah, but we'll be April 4th.
And that's open to the public, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's
So tell everybody about that.
it's at the Ag Expo, and
It's a fundraiser, correct?
It's a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club of the Sequoias. I did it 3 years ago at the TDS Hall, but now they're doing it at the Ag Expo. It's gonna be bigger, and the tickets include dinner and wine tasting, and then
Wine tasting?
they're gonna have wine tasting there.
You might wait until after the show before you do a little wine tasting.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna do anything before the show.
Oh, good. And your mom and dad will be there, so I'll be able to regulate you,
Yes.
keep you in check.
Yeah, my dad's going to be there, and I'm going to let him know how much you hate the 49ers. Anyway.
Hey, they got 5 Super Bowls. So that's April 4th?
4th. It's from 5:30 to 10, but that includes that's
Dinner
meet
and
and
stuff.
greet, then dinner, silent auction, live auction, and then we close it out with the comedy. Me, you, and Darren Carter, the party starter.
Well, that'll be fun.
We're going to bring it. We're going to kill it. So go to just Google Boys and Girls Club of the Sequoias and go on their website.
People can buy tickets.
And they can
through
buy
the site.
tickets there.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And then next week, next Tuesday, you guys already know where I'm going to be at on Valentine's Day. I'll
The
be.
Paramount Theater, sold out show, 3,000 people open up for Kim.
Thank you, Johnny. And then Ruby Tuesdays next Tuesday. And again, I want to thank everybody who did the show last night. Chris Tucker,
my
Russell
cousin, my
Peters, Adam Ray, Taylor Tomlinson, Crystal Marie, and Ron Jossel, and Donnell Rollins. So it was a great show last night.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who supported. And the last 2 weeks at Ruby Tuesdays has been, if you didn't go the week before, it was Tiffany Haddish and Craig Robinson. And then last night, Chris Tucker was my special guest. So you never know who you're going to see at Ruby Tuesdays. And thank you guys for supporting the show. Thank you guys for supporting the podcast. You can get it on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, and don't say the swap me. YouTube.
Flea Market.
Okay.
Anyway, wait, my cousin just jumped on. What's up, Yimmy? Oh, 2 of my cousins.
Hey, what up, Stan and Jim? Did the Sanchez family buy most of the tickets?
No, they want them for free.
Of course. Of course.
So you know how family is.
Yeah. But thank you guys for listening. Johnny's hungover. We're gonna
I
get him
gotta
some food and
Oh,
so he can go
I
lay
can't
down.
eat. I can't eat anything like that.
All right, you guys. We appreciate
Thanks.
the support.
Thanks for
Tell
yeah.
a friend. Share the podcast. Ruby Tuesdays every Tuesday night. Hollywood Laugh Factory, 9:30 p.m. Appreciate you guys. We out.
Ruby motherfucking Tuesdays.
This show is all about diversity and bringing everyone together. never know who you're gonna see at Ruby Tuesday.